Hello and welcome to this session in which we will discuss what is a corporation, characteristics of a corporation, advantages and disadvantages. Now, when you have a business, you can be a sole proprietorship, you can run it as a partnership, and you learn about various types of partnerships, or you can run it as a corporation. Now, what is a corporation? What does the word corporation means? Corporation comes from the Latin word corpus, means a body. What does that mean? It means in the eyes of the law, the corporation is a person. What does that mean? It means it's a legal entity by itself. It's separate than the owners. So the nature of a corporation involves several distinct characteristics which are fundamental to understanding how corporations function and are governed. So in this session, this is what we will discuss, those characteristics. But the first thing you want to know is it's a separate legal entity. It's a distinct, it's a corpus, it's a corporation, it's a body, separate from its owner. A corporation is its own legal entity, separate from the individuals who own it, who can be called the shareholder or the stockholders, and separate from who manage it, the directors and the officers, or the people that work for it, the employees. The corporation is separate from all of those. It can be sued, it can sue, it can enter into a contract. It's separate than the owners. You have to understand this, and this is very important. And this separation is extremely important in the eyes of the law because this means that in most cases, these individuals are not personally liable for the corporation debt or legal obligation. And this is a huge advantage for incorporating, for having a corporation. Now, why did I say in most cases? When I say in most cases, it means 99.99% of the time, the shareholders will have limited liability. It means they are not liable for the corporation debt and the corporation legal obligation because they're separate than the corporation. We're going to see in the next recording, under certain circumstances, you can pierce the veil of the corporation. We'll look at under what circumstances. But only the corporation itself is held liable for the corporate debt and its legal obligation. And that's a huge advantage for what? For incorporating, for running your business under a corporation, specifically C corporation. Let's talk about some advantages as well as disadvantages. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Farhat Accounting Lectures is a supplemental educational tool that's going to help you with your CPA exam preparation as well as your accounting courses. My CPA material is aligned with your CPA review course such as Becker, Roger, Wiley, Gleam, Miles. My accounting courses are aligned with your accounting courses broken down by chapter and topics. My resources consist of lectures, multiple choice questions, true-false questions, as well as exercises. Go ahead, start your free trial today. One of the main disadvantages of incorporating is something called double taxation. That's a huge disadvantage. So corporations are subject to different taxation rules. We have C corporation specifically because when we say corporation, although we don't mention it, we always assume it's a C. C as in Charlie corporation, like C corporation. This is the standard form of corporation. This corporation is taxed separately from its owners. What does that mean? It means the corporation pay taxes on the profit, then the shareholder pay taxes on the distribution that they receive. What does that mean? So we have a corporation here that operates, and the corporation generate revenues, incur expenses. Then let's assume it's $100,000, revenues minus expenses. And what they have to do, they have to pay, let's make it 21%. They have to pay 21% in taxes, which will keep net income at $79,000. After they pay 21%, what's left in net income is $79,000. And for the sake of simplicity, let's assume we only have one individual. So if they are left with 79, it means the corporation paid 21,000 in taxes. Just FYI. Now let's assume for the sake of simplicity, the 79,000 was distributed to the only owner or to the various owners. But to make it simple, I'm going to assume it's only one owner. You could have one owner or many owners. Public companies, they have millions of owners. Small corporation could have one owner. That's fine. Now, once the $79,000 is distributed in form of dividend to the owners, then the owner will have to pay, let's assume the owner's tax rate on average 30%. Then they have to pay 30% in taxes on the $79,000. What does that mean? It means, notice, the $79,000 is taxed again. I said 30%, the individual rate. Then the owner will pay $23,700 in taxes. So notice what's happening here. This is what double taxation. The same $100,000 that the corporation made, we paid $21,000 on the corporate level, and we paid $23,700 on the shareholder level. This is called double taxation. Now in the real world, for large companies, there's no way around this for the double taxation. So when you receive dividend, the dividend is taxed twice, once on the corporate level, once on the individual level. Now for small companies, for small corporation, obviously there are ways to reduce this double taxation effect, but this goes beyond the scope of this course or this session. But you need to know that under C corporation you have double taxation. Now we want to compare C corporation to something we learned about S corporation, S as in Sam. S corporation is different. S corporation, this designation allows profit and some losses to pass directly to the owner's personal income without being subject to corporate tax. So to make this point, let's go back and turn this fictitious corporation that we just created here into a S corporation. So if this was an S corporation, there's no taxes here. So the corporation made $100,000, and let's, for the sake of simplicity, also it doesn't matter in an S corporation, the $100,000 goes to the owner, whether it's distributed in dividend or not. It's considered taxable to the owner. The owner will pay 30% taxes. The owner will pay $30,000. So notice the money was taxed only once because the profit flows to the owners. Versus the C corporation, you remember, the corporation paid $21,000, and I believe the owner paid $23,700. So notice that's way more than $30,000. So this is what C corporation is different because it's taxed only once. But however, why not all corporations are S corporation? Well, hopefully you know that for an S corporation, there's a limited amount of shareholders, up to 99, and the type of shareholders are limited. You cannot be a corporation, you cannot be a trust, you cannot be a foreign entity. There are many restrictions, and that's why not all corporations are S corporation. Who incorporate as an S corporation? Companies like mine, a company like my brother. Small and medium-sized companies in the US, they have to be domestic companies. They can form S corporation, so they are taxed once. Now, large corporation, then they are subject to double taxation. Again, this is a disadvantage. And when we say corporation, we don't mean S corporation. We mean C corporation. Other features, ownership and management. Shareholders own the corporation, but they don't typically manage it. There's no agency issues with corporation, not like partnership. Management responsibilities fall to the board of directors who are elected by the shareholders. How does it work? Yes, the shareholders are the true owners. So we have the shareholders. Let's assume we have 1 million different shareholders. What they do, those 1 million different shareholders, they would elect, let's say, 7 board members, 7 board of directors. They would elect 7 members. Those 7 members, this is the board of directors, and this is 1 million different shareholders, a lot of them. Then those 7 board of directors, they will appoint a CEO to run the company, and the CEO, they would appoint VPs. The VPs would appoint management or a lower level VPs or lower level management, and these individuals, they will hire employees, and the employees would run the company on behalf of the shareholders. So the shareholders don't run the company. So the board of directors, those 7 or 5 or whatever individuals, they make the major decision and they oversee the corporate policies. Now, can you vote yourself as a board of directors? Sure you can. If you're a major shareholder, you want to be on the board of directors, sure you can. That's fine. But you have to understand, the point to understand here is individuals, for example, if you own stocks in, I don't know, Apple computers, okay, you own stocks in Apple. Well, you cannot go to the Apple store and say, you know what, I own some shares here, I'm going to help you sell more iPhones. You can't do that. You're not an employee, although you own the company, but you can't do that. So this is the point here. There's no agency relationship between the shareholders and the corporation, which is good. You don't want to do that. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility, we'll talk about your rights and responsibilities later on, of the shareholders. Also, another feature of a corporation is it has perpetual life. Unlike a sole proprietorship or a partnership, a corporation, because it's a legal entity than its owners. So if the owner dies, the corporation exists regardless of them. It's a legal entity. It does not cease to exist if the owner or the owners die. It can continue indefinitely until it's legally dissolved. It can be dissolved. The shareholders, they meet and they want to dissolve it. That's a different story. But otherwise, just because a person dies, one of the owners, we don't have to dissolve it. That's also an advantage. It survives its owners. Other features of a corporation is free transferability of ownership. What does that mean? It means if you own stocks, you can sell your stocks. Shareholders of a corporation can transfer their ownership rights freely to others. Now you might be saying, what's the big deal? It's a big deal because in a partnership or an LLC, to bring someone on board, you need the unanimous consent of other shareholders. So you have to meet with them, convince them, I want to sell. I want to sell my share to this individual. They have to agree, so on and so forth. Same thing with the LLC. In a C corporation, I own stocks in Apple, I own stocks in Amazon, in Microsoft. It doesn't matter. If I want to sell them, I open my computer, go into my account, and I sell the shares. Now, for small corporations, if it's a small C corporation, they might have some specific agreement. That's a different story. But the general rule is you can sell your shares. Formation. They are created, and we'll talk about formation later, under the state law, often following guidelines like the Revised Model Business Corporation, RAMBACA. Most corporations in the US follow this guideline. It doesn't mean all, but most. Okay, and what does that mean? You have to file articles of incorporation. We'll talk about articles of incorporation when we talk about corporate formation. You have to file this with the state's business authority and adhering to certain regulation. Most corporations in the United States are in Delaware, which is 10 miles, the state line of Delaware, 10 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Why in the state of Delaware? Because there is no state income tax in Delaware. It's friendly to corporations, so the majority of corporations, they incorporate in Delaware. Just basically they file a form, you incorporate in Delaware. FarhatLectures.com is incorporated in Delaware, but it's as an S corporation, not as a C corporation. So I don't have to pay state income taxes. That's the reason why companies incorporate in Delaware. Let's take a look at this multiple choice questions from FarhatLectures.com. Which of the following best describe the liability of a shareholder in a corporation? Well, what's your liability as a shareholder, as an owner? Shareholders are always personally liable for corporate debt. We don't like to see the word always. Actually, one of the things about corporation, you are not liable for corporate debt. So A is definitely out. B, shareholders are never personally liable for a corporate obligation. Always and never, they scare me a little bit. I would stay away from this as never. Shareholder may be personally liable if the corporation is found to be a sham. Hold on a second. Maybe personally liable? Well, yes, maybe. However, 99.99. Now, when I say this percentage, it should tell you the overwhelming majority of the time, almost 100%, shareholders are not personally liable for the corporate debt or the corporate legal obligation, unless the corporation, when it was founded, it's founded to be a sham, it's a fraud. The reason they created the corporation is to commit fraud. Therefore, under those circumstances, under those extreme circumstances that you have to prove in the court of law, then the shareholders, the people that created the company, the owners, will be found liable. Otherwise, we can say shareholders are personally not liable, will be an acceptable, correct statement. But we cannot say never personally not liable. Never is a strong word. But shareholders may be personally liable, small chance if the corporation found to be a sham. Shareholders are only liable for corporate debt also if they are directors. It doesn't, whether you're a director or not, it has nothing to do holding you responsible. So the best answer will be C. But the point I want to make is the general rule is, one of the advantage is shareholders are not liable. That's the general rule. But none of the answer says are not liable in general. Are never, which will make B incorrect. So that's why you have to be careful. Take B out. Shareholders are not personally liable for the corporate obligation will be kind of acceptable, assuming we don't have a C as an answer. But when C is there, we have to know this. Now, we didn't talk about when would they be, under what circumstances. Just touch upon it in this session. Don't worry, there are specific rules where we say the corporation is a sham, and therefore the people means the shareholders, means the owners of the corporation, we're gonna go after them personally because the whole thing was a fraud. We'll talk about that. What should you do now? You're gonna go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs that's gonna help you understand what a corporation is, characteristic, advantages and disadvantages. Study hard for the CPA exam or whatever accounting CMA course you are taking. Invest in yourself. Good luck. Study hard and of course, stay safe.